I'm gonna be doing cap highlights on myself. I've been dyeing my hair like crazy colors like pink and purple for like years now, but then eventually it was just so fried, and back then Olaplex wasn't a thing yet, and so now it is. So I actually do have it.
If you are frequently changing your hair, it was fried because you didn't have Olaplex. Olaplex is not just a magical product that you can change every month of hair color and it will not break. It helps, but not to frequently change your hair.
I don't know, I've been seeing so many people do cap highlights too, so hopefully I don't mess up my hair. So I'm gonna be bleaching my hair using 30 volume developer, this highlighting cap from Sally's, and it comes in a pack of like 12. Okay, I'm gonna part it with the way that I part my hair. So on the cap there are circle placements so that there is kind of like a guideline, and I actually ended up using all of them. Even though I watched videos explaining how to use the tool, it was still really awkward and hard to use for the first time, so I just struggled with that for a little bit.
Make sure that you are not pressing directly on your head and putting diagonally on your head, otherwise it will hurt like hell. And take enough hair out of it, but not too much of hair, otherwise you will rip the hole open and the bleach will go into your cap and you will have a stain. But if you are pulling too little of strands, you will not see the result.
So right here there's a flat end piece so that you can put your hands, and he said that you should do it at an angle and then just to pull it out straight, and that's what I've been doing, and so far I have pretty thin pieces right here.
That are too little, too fine, too thin sections, because you will not go to platinum on that black hair. It will be very orange. You will have to put a toner on top of that, like a light brown, and it will blend so much in your dark hair, it will be not visible.
Doing the back was actually the hardest, and I actually ended up asking my sister for help.
That is a good thing to ask somebody to help you. Otherwise, it's very difficult to do it in the back, or you have to have 2 mirrors.
Okay, so I'm finally done sectioning it.
You have so much hair, and the hair that you pulled out, it's practically nothing. You will see nothing. You will do all your work and you will see nothing.
Now I'm going to be using this Kaleidoscope Blue Clairol bleach packet that I have, and I'm going to be using 1/16 Olaplex into this. I have dyed my hair in the past before, so I do kind of just gauge with bleach. I know you really shouldn't, but I am.
Yeah, you said you are used to use bleach, but you killed your hair. So it's not a good experience you have with bleach.
Okay, so I'm only gonna use this is like half of this, and it's a 1:2 ratio, so it's 1 part bleach to 2 parts developer.
And these ratios are always important. Don't just look at it, take the right ratios, because every bleach product is tested with the right amount of peroxide. And please, this is I think not the case, but try to take the same brand as the powder, because it's tested with the same brand. Sometimes people take another brand because they don't have it in the store or it's cheaper, but the powder is not tested with these oxidations. And if you are wondering what happened, no, I did not cut my fingers with hair cutting, but it was with a very sharp knife. I wanted to eat an apple.
And honestly, this might be too much bleach, but that's okay. I mainly use my fingers to apply the bleach, and then I am using the brush to lightly tap the roots, and I don't want to push that bleach back into the holes because that could bleed out into the other hairs, and then I am just applying foils to just trap them in. I did leave the bleach on my hair for an hour.
First of all, that's way too long. I don't know if you mentioned it, that it was a long time ago, that all these different colors on your hair, because if it's not so long ago, blonde is underneath and it will come off the black very easy. If there was box dye over box dye over box dye, it will be very difficult, but the lengths will be very, very, very orange.
So I blow dried my hair. I think the bleach was, I think I diluted it a little bit too much, so
it's even red, but that's normal, because if you are bleaching your hair, red is the first color that you came across. Red is brown, then red copper, copper, copper yellow, yellow, light yellow, pale yellow, white. That are the colors. You never see brown, light brown, dark blonde, blonde, light blonde. You don't see that. You always see the underlying pigment. That's red, dark red, red copper. And then you know, if you know the underlying pigment, then you know where to stop, because don't bleach it too far. It's not necessary. This is red. That's a good base, but you already see you can see through it. It will blend in your dark hair. It will be like you don't take any highlights whatsoever.
This is how it came out. So it's this light brown shade.
That's not light brown, but okay.
And the back is a little bit darker, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm actually gonna start on the back first.
For the second bleach, I did the exact same thing as the first time. I used the Bleach 30 volume developer and then the 16 ounce of Olaplex. And then I started from my back to the left and then the rest of my hair.
This would be a very good idea, but you didn't know at this point that you took too fine strings. But it would be a very good idea, because you are bleaching this kind of hair twice, that you take more hair out, and then you will have different shades, like hair that is bleached once and hair that is bleached twice. So you have that dark, a little bit lighter, and then lighter hair. That would be a very good blend.
And I left them in for an hour.
So you bleached your hair 2 times with 30 volumes for 1 hour. You actually didn't learn from the previous fails.
Second bleach, and yet it still looks way too dark. So
what do you want? You want platinum highlights?
I'm gonna bleach it for the 3rd time. Wait, so what else do you want to eat?
So halfway through of applying the bleach, I actually realized I used a 10 volume developer instead of a 30, and I was really upset. So I just did the rest of my hair with a 10 volume developer. I did leave the 10 volume developer in my hair for 1 hour.
You saw the first time 30 volumes, not much happened. The second time she actually accidentally used 10 volumes. Do you see how much it lifted with just 10 volumes? You don't need high volume. This is again a proof that a low volume can lift a lot of hair. And don't expect that if you took 30, it will be more blonde. No.
So then I had to do a 4th bleach session with 30 volume developer, and I did that off camera because I was just really irritated and I really didn't want to film myself doing this again for the 4th time.
4 bleaches. 4 bleaches. You are very lucky that you don't took too much of hair out of it, because these strands of hair will suffer a lot. 4 bleaches.
In total, it took about 7 hours to bleach my hair. If I only did 3 sessions, then it would have been about like 5 hours. But because I messed up, it took really long.
So this is how it's looking now. It's a level 8. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rinse this and then put on toner.
You really wanted really blonde hair between that black. But then again, you will not see it. Hardly not see it.
I used the Wella T18 toner, but it was actually expired, and so...
There's so much ammonia in that Wella T18, it will work 10 years from now. It will not expire. Not. So 4 times bleaching, and now T18 with, of course, 20 volumes.
It was literally changing my hair to be more orange and brassy, and so after 5 minutes I actually rinsed it out. I'm having a lot of problems, obviously, but I was not happy at this point, and I decided to go ahead and just use like a dye over it.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Ion Smoky Amethyst right on top, and this is just kind of like this pale violet shade color. I'm just hoping that this color will be okay. I'm hoping that since it is a smokier color, it'll fit with the whole like thing that I'm going for, and it has purple in it, so it will slightly cover up this yellow. That is the hope.
So I just applied the dye with my hands because there's no chemicals in here. It's not going to be damaging. And right here, I'm just showing you guys the difference. Right away, you can already see the magic the dye works. On the right side is when I first applied it, and on the left side is when I just like finished it. And so it looks so much better already.
The only thing that pops in my head is all that where it was 7 hours for the bleach. She's not finished. It will be, maybe she will say it later on, but it will be like a process of 9 hours to have no result.
Okay, so I actually put in purple shampoo in like the last 5 minutes because I thought it wasn't dark enough. I'm finally gonna take this off. It's gonna be so nice. Oh!
Rinse it out, put conditioner on your head, and then take the cap off. Much easier.
I'm so afraid to take this off because you don't see anything. Ooh. 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 What is that? Ooh. You know, like that candy, you know, that you push out from the top like the Mexican candy.
Look how little hair that comes out of that cap. You can see right through it. Of course there are strings, but this is like, it's like nothing.
Oh my god, insert a picture of that. Yeah. Ooh. This literally looks like a bird nest, but trust the process, am I right?
You will be so disappointed.
So yeah, you can see that there are some parts that I didn't get with like the purple shampoo and like the very roots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wash that out. This is how it's looking though. If this doesn't turn out well, it's over, it's done. So this is the next day afterwards, and so this is how it turned out. I don't know whether if I like it or not. Once again, it is something subtle that I wanted to do. I don't want anything crazy because I feel like I can't commit to a full hair color, and I feel like having pastel hair was really fun.
From a distance you don't see nothing, and I don't know if she mentioned it in the beginning that this was the result that she wanted very subtle. I don't know if that is true. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt.
But it's just something that I just can't get back into anymore. I feel like it's not really me at this point. I think I did achieve what I wanted to, just to have like a subtle difference and highlight in my hair. There were a couple problems I had, like I wish I didn't have start so high. Because it's so thin too, they kind of look like gray hairs, and my mom said that I look like an old lady.
That's not good. For me, the difference between the black and the blonde is too much. It should be more a brown color that blended very nice. But then again, it will be less visual than now. Yeah, now you see it more because the contrast is so big. But is it a fail? I will not say a big fail, but for more than 7 hours,
Which makes me sad. I don't know if I like how thin they are because they do look like kind of like gray hairs all kind of like throughout. My second issue is that I never use bleach with Olaplex on myself. Olaplex does help your hair, but in another way to think about it is that it's also an inhibitor because it is like protecting your hair a little bit more. And so because of that, it didn't lighten enough the 3 times that I did it. So that's why I did have to bleach it 4 times. To be fair, that 3rd time I messed up and I used a 10. I was supposed to use a 30.
People are thinking about Olaplex in the wrong way. Yes, it's true. If you are using 40 volume, which you would not, but if you are using 40 volumes and you are using Olaplex, it dilutes, it goes slower because you need to protect your hair. So 40 is too much. Why does Olaplex take your volume down? Because you don't need a high volume. And if you are using 20 volume, you don't need Olaplex.
My 3rd issue is that I used a 30 volume developer. I could have just gone ahead with that 40 volume. I know that Olaplex says that you don't need to bump it up another level, but honestly I should have just done 40 because I wanted to only bleach my hair twice. If I wasn't going to use Olaplex, I would definitely recommend only using a 30 volume developer.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Kind of forgot that I was bleaching it on top of all my hair, and so because of that, my back and my right side has the most hair in this area, and so that's why those areas were a lot darker and weren't lining up enough versus this one or my crown, because it's right on top of my scalp where it gets the most heat. And so I totally didn't think about that at all. For the most part, I actually really do like it. It is just something kind of like cool and funky. I think once it grows out, it's gonna look a lot better for sure. Hopefully this fades out and I can actually tone it and it'll be less brassy, but in the meantime, it does look really pretty.
Of course, if you put brown on top of that, you will not see it so much and it will not be like gray hair because it was too thin. If you want to take cap highlights, take more out of it, but not too much, otherwise you rip it open. All I'm going to say today is, ciao, cuz.